Hey Stampers, it's Debbie with Stamp It with Debbie, and I'm back with day 4 of the 12 days of Christmas. And today I have a fun treat holder. This one holds a Ghirardelli chocolate. It's the peppermint, I think it's white peppermint. There's dark and milk chocolate. And I'm going to show you how to create these. And today I'm going to do something a little bit different. I never want people to feel intimidated like they can't do something. So I'm going to actually create 5 of these just to show you how quickly they can go together. So let's get started, and this is the one we're going to be creating with the Spirited Snowman. And so I'm going to start with a full sheet of the Poppy Parade paper. Let me just zoom back out here so it's not too close. This is 8.5 by 11. We're going to leave it the full size at the 11. We're just going to cut at 2 inches all the way down for all 5 pieces. You can get 5 out of 1 sheet of paper. And these are treats that I'm going to carry in my purse. I'm sometimes telling you that I like to carry the treats with me and pass them out. The holidays get extremely stressful, and I like to have a little treat to pass out to people so that maybe they feel a little less stressed. Okay, so we cut those all 2 inches by 8.5 inches. Now we're going to score at 4 1/8 and 4 3/8 on all of these. We just want to create a little tiny gap in the middle of this so that our chocolate doesn't bunch up our treat holder too much. So 4 1/8 and 4 3/8. Alright, so those are all done. The next thing that we want to do is grab our scalloped tag topper. It's this punch here. And we're just going to punch both of the ends of all of the pieces. I've been working on these this afternoon, and I have quite a few of them done. I like to take them to the grocery store when I see people kind of stressed out, and I give them to my mail lady. I'm going to be taking a flight here pretty soon, so I'll give them to the airline steward and stewardesses. So now I have my bone folder, and I just want to make sure that we have a good crease on the bottom of all of those. Actually, I can probably do that without the bone folder. And then, now that those are all done, the next thing I want to do is I'm going to create or cut this piece here that goes on the back. And that is just a piece of designer paper. And I'm using the Santa's Workshop. Again, I'll put that out of the way, grab my cutter. And I'm going to cut that at 2 inches by 3 inches. I already have this little scrap I started, so I'll use this one up for a few of them. Whoops. That one didn't cut through. This is flocked a little bit, so it is a little thicker paper. So again, 2 inches by 3 inches. And we have 5 of them. You can get 4 per strip, so we have 5 of those now. So we have those pieces. The next thing we need is we're going to take our, this is the Starburst punch. We need to cut 5 of these. From Poppy Parade. I'm going to stick those in a little pile over here. And then we need I'm using the 1 3/4 inch circle punch. And I'm going to cut 5 circles out of Whisper White. And then I'm going to be using the Spirited Snowman. stamp, and I'm also going to be using Memento black ink. I'm going to grab a piece of scrap paper because the snowman will stamp off. This stamp isn't near, or the paper isn't nearly big enough. So this is the snowman I'm using, and I just want to kind of center him on there so that you can see his face. And I'll stamp all 5 of those. If you make a mistake, you can always go to the back. I like to teach stamp first and glue down second so that you have a second chance on the back. That part is done. Now we need to color these in very quickly. So I'm going to use my Stampin' Blends markers, and I have pumpkin pie for his nose, and I'm using light soft suede for his stick arms. I'm using Dark Poppy Parade as the red and Pool Party for the blue. So I'm just going to color his hat and his scarf. Very quickly here, and you can use different colors. There's lots of designer paper choices out there for sure. These are just ones that I particularly like from the catalog this year. My other one, while I'm coloring, I'll bring it over here. I used this one. This is the Cookie Cutter Christmas, and it makes a reindeer or a gingerbread man. I think there's an Eskimo in there, and I can't remember what else. Let me look real quick. It's this one. It makes a Santa Claus and a teddy bear and an Eskimo and a gingerbread man. So that's still a current stamp set in the annual catalog. Now I'm just going to color his arms very quickly. I really like the Stampin' Blends markers. They don't leave any lines when you're coloring, and they just leave a real smooth finish, and you can blend if you want to add a little more dimension to your coloring. Today I'm not going to do that, but you could. So now I'll finish up with the Poppy Parade. I'm just going to color in the polka dots on the hat. And then I'll add a few little red stripes in his scarf there. And you could just leave his scarf blue if you wanted to, the Pool Party, if you would rather just leave it that color. The green would be real cute as well. Whoops, forgot to color the top of his hat there. Let's see. Oh, I forgot to color this one too. Alright, just 2 left. I think we're doing pretty good for time when we're, especially since we're making 5 of these. Alright, 1 left. I think instead of coloring his buttons black, I'm just going to color them red. I'll just pick up the red in his hat and his scarf. Alright, we're done coloring. So the last thing that we need to do, and take these off the piece of scrap paper, is I have a stamp from the stamp set Peaceful Noel, and I'm going to use Poppy Parade. This piece is cut at a 1/2 inch long, and this stamp set just says Merry Little Christmas. I'm not going to measure them out. I'm just going to stamp Merry Little Christmas. Oh, not sure why that's not, let's see, that's a little better. It wasn't picking up all of the stamp. Normally I would stamp the photopolymer on my piercing mat, but I forgot to grab that before we started. Then I'm going to take my paper snips. I'm going to move this out of the way so I don't end up getting red ink on anything. I'm just going to snip those off there. And it doesn't matter that they're not perfectly aligned. It's going to look great anyways. I'm also going to use the textured weave ribbon in the Poppy Parade. So I'm going to cut 5 pieces of that. You could use white or the natural ribbon, whatever looks good to you with your designer paper that you have. Alright, there's 5 pieces of that. So now we can start assembling. I do need some tear and tape, and I also need my chocolates. I'm just going to flip these over and put a couple pieces of tear and tape on the back to hold them inside of the treat holder. Don't want our treats to slip out and have nothing to give someone an empty holder is what I'm saying. Alright, we're done with the tear and tape. So all we need to do is peel the backing off real quickly. Sometimes that's easier said than done. And I'm going to take them all off at the same time just so that I can assemble them all at the same time. But whatever's easier for you to, so they don't get stuck together, that's what you should do. And that one doesn't want to come off of there. There we go. Sometimes it helps if you go over that a little bit with your bone folder, but you don't want to do it too much or you'll melt the chocolate inside or dent it up, so you don't want to do that for sure. Okay, so those are all set. I'm going to push those aside. I'm going to do that last. I had an afterthought. So let's start assembling. I'm going to grab my adhesive. I'm going to put this down towards the bottom. I'm just going to leave a little edge. So I'm going to do all of these at once. And the last 2. And there's no perfect whatever, it's whatever looks good to your eye. So the next step, we want to get this burst put on the front of our card. We do want to have it up a little bit kind of towards the front, or I'm sorry, the top. Looks like I'm missing one. I wonder where it went to. Let me punch another one very quickly here. Here it is. Okay. Alright, we're going to put that up just high enough so we can still put our greeting underneath. And then we want to put our snowman on with a dimensional, so we'll turn him over and just put a dimensional on the center of each one of those. Pull the backing off. I'm kind of a mass producer, so whenever I do it, I do all of them at once. But if it's easier for you, you should do one at a time. Okay, and the last thing we need to do for the front is put a little adhesive on the back of these pieces, the greeting. Whoop. And we want to make sure the greeting is right side up, would be helpful. And then that part's done. Now we're going to go ahead and put the candy inside. And you just want to not go past this line because that's what folds up. And then I think I'm going to go ahead and do the ribbon right at the same time. Just fold it together, put it through that hole in the top, pull it through, and then you want to cut a nice little angled edge on there. There's one. Again, put the two pieces of ribbon together. You want to put them both through that hole, both holes at the top. You're going to bring them together. Again, cut off a little bit of an angle so that it looks pretty. There's number 2. Now if you don't have this scalloped tag topper, you could use another topper punch. I've seen an angled topper one. Stampin' Up! Used to have one. Or you could just punch a hole if you have a hole punch. Just punch a hole in the top of both of them so that they're together. And that would look fine too. Alright, here's number 4. Oops. There we go. And then we have one more. And our piece of ribbon we're going to fold together. Stick them both through that hole at the top and loop them through. So there you have it. 5 treats in just a matter of a few minutes. And they're all ready to give out to someone to make their day. I hope that you liked this project today, and I hope that you will join me again tomorrow for day 5 of the 12 days of Christmas projects. And if you missed any of the videos, you can check me out on YouTube under Stamp It with Debbie. And I'll be back again tomorrow with day 5 and another project. You can visit my blog at stampitwithdebbie.blogspot.com for more projects and inspiration. Thanks for stopping by today, and we'll see you again soon.